Greetings, everyone. A lot of people have actually come to me and asked me what is the main difference between DawnGate and League of Legends, and I never could come up with like a one single answer for that question. So I decided to make a guide for those people who come from games like Dota 2, Heroes of Never, Infinite Crisis, SMITE, or League of Legends and come to play DawnGate. So what I'm going to do here right now is I'm gonna tell you what is DawnGate and how DawnGate works differently from the other MOBA games. So let's get started. As many of you already have guessed, before every game there's a picking phase. It's not really different from SMITE or League of Legends. It's actually very similar. So you pick your character and lock it in. The characters called in this game are shapers. They're not gods, they're not champions, they're not heroes, they're shapers. So as you can see on the screen, there's 3 shapers to play. DawnGate uses a free rotation system similar to League of Legends and SMITE, so each two weeks there are going to be different 3 shapers to play. And you can unlock the shapers by in-game currency called Destiny, which will be gained by playing games in DawnGate. And as you have locked your character, you can check your role. And there's 4 different roles: the Gladiator, Tactician, Hunter and Predator. Gladiator gets more Vim, which is gold in this game, by last hitting. Then there's a Tactician, which gets Vim by when minions die nearby you. And these two actually synergize really well with each other, so it's usually support and a carry. And then you have a Hunter, which is similar to Jungle, and that gets more Vim on the jungle by killing jungle creeps. Then you have Predator, which is kind of like for assassin type of characters, and so you get more Vim by killing other shapers. And then we have our loadout system, which is kind of like Runes and Masteries. This is not the final version, and these are kind of like a stats, and some have like passive, like 7% shield from your base health and stuff like that. But that's enough about the picking phase. Okay, so let's talk about DawnGate's spells and spellbook system. DawnGate actually doesn't use mana at all, so you have either a shaper with a high regenerative resource, or you have a shaper with no costs. And this makes the game more fun. I mean, the lanes are not farming, they're mostly very aggressive. You can poke the enemy shaper or you just wave clear with spells, and I don't have to worry when I'm out of mana because there is no mana. Also, you have 3 normal spells and 1 ultimate. The max level in this game is 20, and on levels 1, 10 and 20 you get a spellbook spell, and these are comparable to summoner spells in League, and they're kind of similar to them. They have a really high cooldown, so you have to save them and use them on the right moment. There's things like Blink, which kind of teleports you a certain distance, and then you have Stasis, which makes you invulnerable for 2 seconds. Really cool stuff. And you're actually able to sell the spells and buy new ones on the late game, or in any point actually. For instance, you can pick Vanquish, which is works like Smite on League, and you're able to sell it on late game and get other better spell because you won't be jungling on the late game. And this is a really cool thing to me, at least. Next up, I'm going to talk about the map in DawnGate, which makes it really unique MOBA compared to others. So typically you would have 3 lanes, but instead in DawnGate you have 2 only. But to compensate the 3rd lane, you have this really huge jungle, which enables your team picking 2 jungles, and you can split the jungle in half, and the jungles will still get a lot of Vim and a lot of experience without having like significant disadvantage if the enemy would be running only 1 jungle. Also, the map is 100 symmetrical, which means no other team has disadvantage to another, and so it doesn't matter which side you will be playing on. And on the center of the map there's a Parasite, which is comparable to Baron and Roshan, and in this game it's symmetrical on the middle, so no other team will have like a closer traveling distance to that Parasite, which is really a great thing. One really cool thing about DawnGate is that you don't have to buy wards. Each player has a one ward which they can use, which has 3-minute duration, and once the duration is over you're able to place the ward again. And this will decrease flaming and stuff like this, because nobody has to buy wards or force anyone to buy wards. Since I already talked about warding a bit, now it's really good time to talk about the items in the game. In DawnGate you have 6 item slots and 2 slots for consumables. Consumables are currently health potions and flasks. Flasks give you like temporary boosts. Then you have the item system, which is really similar to SMITE. So you have 3 tiers. You have basic, advanced and legendary. Basic item builds to advanced and advanced item builds to legendary. Simple, you don't have to learn these like really hard paths. There is no actives on the items actually, so you have only like these passives, like there's like auras that give armor and magic resistance to whole team, or there's like a passive when you reach less than 30% of your health, 500 shield will pop out to you, which will protect you for 3 seconds, stuff like this. Really cool passive. There's a lot of items. It might take some time to learn which are most optimal, but of course there's the recommended items always on the top. Also, everything scales from the power in this game. There's no AP or AD, there's just power. But there is still physical damage and magical damage. So for magical damage you build magic resistance, and for physical damage will be armor. And these are based on your who shaper you are against. Some do magic damage, some do AD. The turrets in DawnGate are actually called bindings. They mechanically work really the same way as League and SMITE turrets do. But there's one fact that makes them different, is that once they're destroyed, they will respawn after a certain amount of time. This amount of time will vary based on which tier are the bindings. Another really cool unique feature in DawnGate is Spirit Wells. Spirit Wells are capturable points after 10 minutes which will give your team passive whim gain. You're able to capture them and get the whim gain yourself and deny the enemy the whim gain. You're able to kill the workers when the points are locked, so this will also stall the whim gain for your enemy, but you won't be able to capture it yourself. These are really key components winning a game, so it's really important to seize control over the Spirit Wells. Even DawnGate has its own unique boss on the center, and he's called Parasite. The Parasite has 3 forms of evolution. Each time you defeat him, he will become stronger and give better rewards. And this is a really important objective, and you should never try it alone. As you can see, can't kill him myself, even it's the first form. So always do this as a team. And thanks for watching the video. And hopefully you learned something about DawnGate today. And I did leave a lot of the stuff about the jungle, but I will make a separate video about how to jungle the camps, the buffs, the items, the spells, etc. And if you like the video and subscribe. I have more content coming up. And cheers, I'm out.